So welcome to the Breezo Show. It's your boy Breezo B, Mr. He's So Free, the host that do the most. And today we got this video on Mr. Pooh Shiesty. For him, you already know he went through this situation where he was locked up in a contract with Gucci. Gucci made some money off of him. His cousin died. Gucci ain't really contribute how he wanted him to. So when he got out, allegedly he put up Drake to, Gucci face like, hey, sign this contract. I'm out this contract. And about a couple of months later, everybody get booked for it. So now he back in the feds. His daddy, big 30, and shit. There's 8 of them on this indictment. So we're gonna see what we gotta see right here. Shout out to 504 Street Chronicles Worldwide.
The world knows Memphis for its music, Stack Records, Soulsville, USA, the birthplace of Southern Soul, Otis Redding, Isaac Hayes, the Staple Singers, all of it born right here on Macklemore Avenue. Elvis Presley lived and died here.
Hey, shout out Memphis. My sister from Memphis. I just left there a couple years ago. It was cracking. I recorded some music while I was out there.
Graceland still
Shout out
draws
Chris,
pilgrims from
sis.
every corner of the planet. There's the barbecue, the blues on Beale Street, Owen College, one of the oldest historically black institutions in the South, sitting right in the heart of the city. Memphis is culture, Memphis is legacy, Memphis is on the map. But there is a Memphis that is a make the tourism brochure, a Memphis that runs underneath all the landmarks and the legends, deeper, darker, and a lot more honest about what the city has always been. South Memphis, train tracks cutting through neighborhoods where the American dream never fully arrived. The music was born out of pain because the pain never stopped. But the streets and the studio have always been the same room. This is a story from that Memphis.
Now they calling young Pooh Shiesty the devil.
November the 8th, 1999, Lantrell Danielle Williams Jr. entered this world right there in the middle of all of it. And the man who shaped him most wasn't no teacher, wasn't no coach. It was his father, Lantrell Williams Sr., known throughout South Memphis as Mob Boss. Mob Boss had already built something before his son could walk. He had close ties to Ronnie Woods, one of the major street figures in South Memphis.
Steph, Greg, we uncovered this large stack of indictments naming 35 people in all. Now, these are some of the men and women charged in this massive investigation led by Memphis Police Multi-Agency Gang Unit. Sources tell us since 2018, they've been building this case and used wiretapping. They say this case involves cocaine, pills, and marijuana. And sources also say these people are tied to the Memphis Mob, one of the oldest gangs in the Bluff City. Now, 3 of the people indicted are brothers. You can see them there, Bernard, Steve, and Ronnie Woods. We're told they're high up in this gang, and Ronnie and Bernard are also accused of money laundering. Ronnie was arrested in DeSoto County and brought to Memphis today. Now, all 3 are being held on a $2 million bond. Now, also in the indictments is Michael McKinney. He's facing several drug charges and money laundering. He was just arrested after police say he killed his wife in front of his 2 children in late April at Crescent Bluff Apartments downtown. His bond is now $1 million. Now, we're continuing to dig into this case. And we're trying to find out more information about the investigation. As soon as we find anything out, we're going to let you know. Live in the studio, Jessica Gertler, WREG.
He ran Club Martini in the late 90s and early 2000s, one of the most prominent spots in the whole city at the time. Drug dealers, athletes, street royalty, they all moved through that room. He founded Mob Ties Records, his own independent label. His son was in the studio watching all of it from the jump. But here is what the streets of Memphis don't say loud enough, and what the federal record makes crystal clear. Lantrell Williams Sr. was not just a street figure who had got caught and did his time. In case number 07-20305-STA, filed in the United States District Court or the Western District of Tennessee on April the 15th of 2009, Mob Boss pleaded guilty to 1-count federal drug conspiracy under 21 U.S.
Okay, so this is his 2009 case. Now, I don't know if y'all be tapped in on the line or not, but I don't know. Y'all, it's allegedly Whack 100 exposers say they got paperwork. The daddy wasn't
Section 846
That it
and
was
counts
no
2
good.
through 5,
609.
distribution of controlled substances under 21 U.S.C. Section 841A1. Attorney Howard L. Wagaman represented him, and he didn't just plead guilty. He signed a cooperation agreement with the United States government. Paragraph 4 of that plea deal carries that 5K1 substantial assistance clause. He agreed to
There we
provide the
go.
government with
5K1.
ongoing and
5K1.
anticipated future assistance, including complete
There we
and
go.
truthful
He agreed
information,
to
assisting in
provide
the
government
investigation or prosecution
assistance.
of other individuals, and complete truthful testimony at subsequent proceedings when needed.
This
In
nasty
exchange,
work.
the government reversed the right to recommend a downward departure from his sentence. The government's assessments of the value and completeness of his assistance was solely within their discretion and binding on the defendant. The man the streets called Mob Boss, who ran Club Martini, who built Mob Ties Records, who is held up as the foundation of everything Pooh Shiesty became, signed a deal to cooperate with the federal government and provide information against other people to reduce his own sentence. That is not a rumor. That is case number 07-20305-STA in the Western District of Tennessee. It is all public record. For those wondering how Lontrell Jr. got his nickname, the name came from his late brother Torrance Henderson, TP. TP called him Mr. Pooh since he was little. When Torrance died, the wound never fully closed. Lontrell put that grief on his back and kept going. Later, somebody added Shiesty, Memphis slang for cold, calculated moves without apology. Pooh Shiesty was then born. Around 16, the family packed up and relocated to Pflugerville, Texas, just outside of Austin, for about 2 years. Pulled him out of Memphis and dropped him somewhere with none of the energy he was built from. What it gave him was perspective. Nothing moved like South Memphis. Nothing ever would. When they came back, he buckled down. Summer school, online classes. He got his diploma, and he picked up the mic and didn't put it down.
No, you fire.
Here we go, Mr. Shiesty.
Before Pooh Shiesty was a rapper, they was moving reckless in the streets. The music was just something they added on top of it. Chopper Gang Entertainment, CGE 375, is rooted in Cane Creek. Set runs Peru and Grape Street Crip politics, the Memphis version of that Cali dynamic. Out here, it ain't about the national affiliation as much as it is about the clique, the block, the track you from. Cane Creek is Chopper Gang territory. That was the foundation before a single song or video ever got uploaded to YouTube. Two names in that circle ran with Shiesty from day one. Kevion McBride, aka Chopper Gang Hank, Chopper Wop. Not features on the tape. These were the same school lunchrooms, the same corners, the same hood, the same track. Chopper Gang's Hank history with law enforcement was already documented before Shiesty season ever dropped. August 2020, while Shiesty was out in South Florida catching federal attention, Hank was riding through South Memphis in a Dodge Challenger, hunting for his ops who were said to have been driving a red Infiniti. It's no secret that Hank's partner had been killed. According to the streets, Hank was out for retaliation. Hank spotted a red Infiniti at the intersection of Silver Ridge Avenue and Kansas Street and opened fire from the passenger seat. 3 bullets caught the driver in the back. The victim, Kerry Tolbert, 30 years old, was rushed to Regional 1 Health. Needless to say, he never walked again.
The driver of this white Challenger lost control and crashed at Kansas and Silveridge Wednesday night while chasing and shooting at the driver of a red Infiniti. Investigators say the driver of that Infiniti, 30-year-old Kerry Tolbert, was shot 3 times in the back and also crashed nearby.
I'm hoping that he come out of it because he's a good person.
Otis Carr was asleep and didn't see this car crash at the end of his street, but knows the victim.
He didn't deserve whatever he got. He didn't deserve that.
Police say Kevion Mabry opened fire on the red Infiniti in retaliation for the shooting death of a fellow gang member. Turns out it was the wrong car. Investigators say Tolbert was not involved in any gang activity and may be permanently paralyzed.
I feel sorry for this boy.
Dumb shit.
Neighbors say Tolbert hit this utility pole before crashing his red Infiniti up the street, and a Sky Cop cam on Silveridge may have captured it all. Police say Mabry was also captured on camera at Southland Mall last summer, assaulting and carjacking a man cleaning the parking lot. The 19-year-old has been charged with attempted murder in that case and was out of jail on $150,000 bond at the time of this shooting. In South Memphis, Melissa Moon, WREG. News Channel 3.
According to investigators, Tolbert had zero connection to the gang war. Wrong car, wrong man, an innocent civilian paralyzed for a debt he never owed. Hank caught attempted first-degree murder, Shelby County. Same set, same block, same summer Shiesty season was being built in the studio. Chopper Wop was another Cane Creek resident, a founding member of the CGE Collective, who was moving with Shiesty before the cameras and the major label deal ever entered the picture.
Shelby County Sheriff's Office taking responsibility to the accidental recent release of a convicted killer. SCSO says that the release of Anthony Green, there on your screen, happened because of an administrative error. Green posted a $2,500 bond for a petty theft shortly after a murder conviction. Now the Sheriff's Office says a deputy failed to adhere to established protocols designed to ensure that all bonds were properly revoked.
Around April 10th, 2020, Pooh Shiesty was at a house cooling when his phone lit up. Gucci Mane, Roderick Davis, slid into his DMs directly. Gucci had been listening to Mane's line, the Tate Keith produced record that had all of Memphis buzzing. The message from Gucci was short: "I'm listening to your stuff, bruh. You hard. Are you signed?" Pooh told him he was independent, sent his number. They locked in from there.
Speaking of WAP, I saw that he reached out to you. He hit you in your DM. What was your first reaction when you saw Gucci Man like hit you up?
I went crazy. I went crazy. I couldn't believe it.
For real. So what happened after that? After he DM'd you, when did y'all link up?
Like a week after that. Like I was signed like a week after that. And then I had to hold it in like another week.
Yeah.
Before I could like go up public. Yeah.
What made you sign with Guwap?
Man, he I ain't gonna lie, like I don't see myself really signing with nobody. Like I ain't really want to sign, but it made perfect sense. And then he actually wanted to see me win, so.
You have to
I bet
understand
Pooh
what that
Shiesty
moment
feel
meant
real
in
different
context.
about that
In
right
Memphis, if you are a rapper coming up, the two paths were Yo Gotti, CMG, or Young Dolph's Paper Route Empire. Those were the lanes the city laid out, and Pooh had resisted both. He said himself he never wanted to sign with anyone. He even questioned why Chopper Gang couldn't be its own lane the same way CMG and PRE were. When Gucci's message came through, it was a third option, one that sat completely outside the Memphis power structure, and it showed up at the right time because the CMG and PRE beef got bloodier every year. That same tension eventually got Dolph gunned down at Makita's Cookies in November of 2021. Gucci had pulled Pooh Shiesty out of that fire before it even started.
A rapper whose star was on the rise and the music industry has been killed.
All right, Young Dolph was shot in broad daylight in Memphis today. Let's bring in Arthur Chen now with the latest on what we've learned. Arthur.
Steve, Lori, right now a manhunt is underway for the shooter of rapper Young Dolph, who returned to his hometown of Memphis to visit an aunt who has cancer and to give out Thanksgiving turkeys for the holidays.
Turn dirt into diamonds, that's major.
36-year-old rapper Young Dolph had arrived. Success in his Memphis, Tennessee hometown had translated into Billboard chart success and major collaborations with the likes of Key Glock, Megan Thee Stallion.
How big y'all think Dolph would be if he was
T.I.,
still
Gucci
there,
Mane, and others.
Leave that in the comments. Long live Dolph.
All of it brought to an abrupt end as he was gunned
Well, it was
down
a real
in a cookie
Memphis
store. Reaction immediate and heartfelt for a performer who always gave back to his community.
Shiesty signed to 1017 Records in April of 2020 with Atlantic Records as the distribution partner. The deal was done. Now he had to live with it. July 7, 2020, Memphis, Tennessee. Pooh Shiesty was inside a vehicle when another passenger bust shots from a firearm at a gas station. He was present. He was in the car. The feds cataloged it and folded into what would eventually become a federal conspiracy count. No separate charge at the time, but it stayed in the government's file. October 9th, 2020, Bay Harbor Islands, Florida. Pooh Shiesty and two dudes, Bobby Brown of Memphis and Jaden DeRosa of Pembroke Pines, pulled up to the Landon Hotel in a rented
Nigga
bright
named Bobby
green McLaren.
Brown.
A black Mercedes Maybach followed. They were meeting two men to pick up marijuana, a pair of high-end sneakers, and drink. According to the federal government, members of Shiesty group pulled semi-automatic weapons and assaulted both sellers during the transaction. One man was shot in the ass. Shiesty drove off with all of the shit without paying. As the McLaren pulled away, a Louis Vuitton bag stuffed with over $40,000 in cash fell out of the driver door onto the pavement. Investigators later tied that bag directly to Pooh Shiesty through a $100 bill. The full serial number matched the bill he had flashed on his own Instagram account days before. He surrendered to Bay Harbor Island Police on October the 13th of 2020. Initial state charges: armed robbery with a firearm, aggravated battery with a deadly weapon causing great bodily harm, aggravated assault with a firearm, and theft. October 1st, 2020, Brookside, Alabama. Big 30, Rodney Wright Jr. was arrested on side Leaton Foster on I-22.
Back of a squad car Thursday morning to a mugshot. Brookside, Alabama police provided these pictures of rapper Rodney Big 30 White. Police tell us White was on his way to Memphis from Atlanta when narcotics interdiction officers stopped him and another man. Brookside is about 3.5 hours outside of Memphis. White was the passenger in the rented Ford Expedition they stopped. While officers have not said why they pulled the SUV over, they are telling us what they say they found inside. $17,000 in cash, a loaded Glock 40 handgun, promethazine and codeine, and marijuana they say was packaged to sell. Police say White is a gang member in Memphis. He has pending state and federal charges in Tennessee and is waiting federal extradition.
March 30th, 2021, Memorial Day weekend, Miami. Pooh Shiesty was at the King of Diamonds strip club when he allegedly assaulted a security guard with a firearm. Shiesty surrendered to authorities June the 8th. Miami-Dade state prosecutors picked it up separately. He was held without bond, even after the victim of the shooting recanted.
A popular rapper arrested. He's accused of shooting a security guard at a South Florida gentleman's club and will remain behind bars. A judge.
At that point in his life, that nigga told y'all he got his own file. He don't need no damn security in the club.
Denied bond for
So
21-year-old Montrell Williams, known as Pooh
Bullshit.
Shiesty. Police say he was performing at King of Diamonds in Miami over Memorial Day weekend when cash was knocked out of his pocket. When the crowd tried to grab it, police say he showed off his gun, and while he was being escorted out of the club, he fired a shot, hitting the guard in the ankle. He's been charged with aggravated battery.
January 29, 2021, a federal grand jury in the Southern District of Florida formally indicted Lantrell Williams Jr. on 4 counts, discharging a firearm, a violent crime, conspiracy, and robbery, all stemming from Bay Harbor Islands. The most serious count alone carried a possible life sentence. He was ordered held without bond July the 8th. January 4th, 2022, Pooh Shiesty pleaded guilty to a single federal count, conspiracy to possess firearms, and furtherance of crimes of violence and drug trafficking. As part of the plea, he formally admitted to all 3 incidents: the Memphis gas station shooting, July 2020, the Bay Harbor Islands robbery and assault, October 2020, and the King of Diamonds strip club assault, May 2021. Prosecutors dropped the remaining 3 counts, including the one that could have sent him away for the rest of his life. April 20th, 2022, U.S. District Judge Michael K. Moore sentenced Lantrell Williams Jr. to 63 months, 5 years and 3 months. The government pushed for 8 years. Defense attorney Bradford Coyne pushed back, arguing ballistics didn't place Shiesty as the shooter in Bay Harbor and that the conspiracy charge was being over-enhanced. The judge ultimately ended up siding closer to the defense. 3 separate criminal incidents, 2 states, all firearms, 2 involving violent assaults on real people. This is not allegation. This is what Lantrell Williams Jr. signed his name to under oath in a federal courthouse. Before the Fed slammed the door, Pooh Shiesty built a buzz in a year and a half that most rappers don't touch in a decade. Shiesty season dropped February the 5th of 2021, debuted at number 3 on the Billboard 200, double platinum. Back in Blood alone, 8 times platinum. Beatbox 2 was Spot and Got 'em, hit number 12 on the Hot 100. Shiesty was named to the XXL freshman class of 2021. The ski mask that boy wore in videos, not as a costume, but because that's how he was really moving on the streets, became a cultural symbol. So persuasive, it carried his name in the streets and fashion to this day. That ain't branding, that's authenticity that crossed over into a product on its own. Chopper Gang Hank and Chopper Wop appeared on the tape too, the track Big 13 Gang, which is itself a Coded Pyru set reference built right into the title. From June 2021 to October 6, 2025, Shiesty was locked down in the feds, 3 years of a 5-year sentence before the BOP released him early. While inside, the 1017 roster around him got picked apart. Big Scar, his cousin, another 1017 artist, died in December of 2022. Fujiano caught his own federal case. Next Generation of Southern rap that Gucci had assembled was falling apart one by one.
Yeah, Neil, so we're talking about Fujiano, the Atlanta-based rapper whose real name is Kwame Brown, is represented by Gucci Mane. Take a look. This is a booking photo just in.
Free
U.S.
Fujiano,
Marshals now say they tracked down the 27-year-old in Memphis last week. They tell us they had been trying to find him for 3 months after he apparently melted off his court-ordered ankle monitor, and they tried to track him down there. At last check, Brown is now being held in a jail in Memphis. We've also learned he's part of an ongoing wrongful death lawsuit stemming from a fatal shooting that happened at a nightclub in South Carolina. We're working to get some more information. Once we get that, we'll post it on our website at WKRN.com.
Gucci eventually dropped nearly his entire 1017 roster in a cost-cutting move, called it a profit and loss decision. Almost everybody was cut free. Gucci held on to Pooh Shiesty though. He held on to Fujiano, the two with the most commercial upside. That decision to hold on to Pooh Shiesty set everything in motion. Word coming out before Pooh Shiesty released that Yo Gotti and CMG had developed serious interest in signing him. The same Memphis label he bypassed years ago was circling back, but Shiesty was still locked in to 1017. Gucci was not releasing him, and that contractual wall became the pressure that eventually lit the match. October 6, 2025, Pooh Shiesty walked out of federal prison based on home confinement, ankle monitor, restricted movement, prohibited from committing new crimes or possessing firearms. 2 months later, December 2025, he dropped FDO, First Day Out. The single hit number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100, his highest solo chart position ever. For about 60 days, the second chapter looked like it was writing itself clean. So look, the house in Cordova that the FBI hit on the morning of April 1st was registered in 2 names, father and son. They purchased it together back in April of 2023. The man who cooperated with the feds in 2009 bought a house with his son in 2023. And on April the 1st of 2026, they were arrested together in the same federal operation on the same morning. Father and son, same address, same case. January the 10th of 2026, Roger Davis, aka Gucci Mane, along with 2 associates, got jacked and hemmed up in Dallas, Texas. That meeting had been arranged by Shiesty. The purpose? To discuss the terms of the recording contract with 1017 Records. But on a cool, it was always a setup. That was his way of getting Gucci close to him. According to the federal complaint, what happened inside that studio on Dallas Parkway involved 9 individuals and alleged coordinated armed violence. Antrell Williams Sr. allegedly booked the studio in advance and rented the vehicle used in the operation. Shiesty allegedly produced an AK-style pistol and forced his signature at gunpoint. Big 30 allegedly barricaded the door. Multiple co-conspirators allegedly produced firearms and robbed the remaining victims. 8 of the 90.
Now, it's been said that none of the cameras in the studio worked. So, Gucci had to tell these folks everything that happened in that studio. If they was barricaded in there and wasn't nobody else in there, Gucci had to tell these folks everything that happened.
Defendants were arrested on April 1st of 2026
video.
at a Dallas hearing on April 9th. Defense attorney Bradford Cohen laid out what he described as significant holes in the government's case. No physical contract, no video of the alleged signing, no recovered firearms, no recovered jewelry.
Would you say your name for us real quick?
Yeah, Bradford Cohen, C-O-H-E-N, Sam Zengane, and John Helms.
And any questions, just look straight in the middle.
Yeah, you got it.
Thank you.
So we had a bond hearing today and a PC hearing today. I think that the relevant things that were said today that I thought were fascinating were that it took 3 months to build a case. And I think the reason for that was because the statements that were given on the evening that this occurred were very questionable. I think the way that the statements were made, what allegedly was witnessed and what wasn't witnessed, I think gave great pause to the FBI. The FBI doesn't take 3 months to arrest someone if they believe everything that was said on the night that it occurred. They were involved the first night and then nothing happened for 3 months. In addition to that I thought was quite embarrassing was that an FBI agent says they don't have the resources to keep their eye on an individual. This is allegedly an individual that committed a crime that they then didn't watch to see if the guns were present, if the jewelry was present. And what didn't we hear today? What we didn't hear today is there is no contract, this mystery contract. They have no contract. They have no video of this alleged signing of a contract. They have no guns. They have no jewelry. They have none of that physical evidence.
The FBI admitted they had not personally interviewed Gucci or any other alleged victims, working entirely off of statements taken by police at the scene. Shiesty's attorney pointed to what he described as a single cooperating witness carrying the entire weight of the case. The judge found probable cause anyway.
Allegedly, 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client and many more.
As of April the 13th, the day I made this video, the grand jury indictment in the Northern District of Texas has not yet been filed. All defendants are presumed innocent. No charges have been proven. The feds build slow and they close fast. Whether you read that as a rap or a roadmap to how Shiesty really moving in these streets, the feds read it the same way both times. And now Shiesty is sitting in a Texas detention center, ankle monitor removed. If further it turns out who cooperated with the feds, waiting on an indictment that hasn't happened yet. Shiesty season, it was never just an album title. It was some real life gangster shit.
Alright, so that's the story of Pooh Shiesty, man. The real devil in South Memphis. Free Pooh Shiesty, you know, he looking at some time if convicted. Hopefully he out of there. You know, everything get thrown out, dropped. They ain't got no contract, no gun, no footage. Light evidence. I mean, they just going off one account and some witnesses with no evidence. So hopefully Shiesty can beat this, man, and get back on top of the world. FDO is hot. But yeah, thank y'all for tapping into the Breezo Show. Yeah, we'll be back with some more shit later, man. So y'all, make sure y'all like, hype, comment, subscribe, share this video. Story of Pooh Shiesty.
Big about me, flee. Play with this rest in peace. Them fuck niggas can't get next to B. Nigga be heat the sauce, he the recipe. Like it has I want, I'm blessed as B. They do they shit, can't mess with B. Try him, get turned to a vest to B. Go find somebody that can fuck with B. Who?